Have you ever heard a spooky story that made your hair stand on end? Well, gather round because I've got one for you that's a real classic. It all started on a cold, foggy Sunday afternoon. You know the kind, where the sky is gray and everything feels a little mysterious. Three best friends, Stephanie, Melanie, and Danielle, were feeling particularly adventurous. For years, they'd stared at the old abandoned house at the very end of their street. Everyone in the neighborhood had a name for it. The Whispering House. Legends said you could hear strange whispers carried on the wind if you got too close. Today, they decided they were brave enough to find out for themselves. Armed with nothing but flashlights and a whole lot of courage, the three girls tiptoed towards the rusty, creaky gate. As they pushed it open, a gust of wind howled through the overgrown trees, and believe it or not, the heavy front door of the house swung open all on its own. A shiver ran down their spines, but they looked at each other, took a deep breath, and stepped inside. The air inside was thick with dust and the smell of old wood. Cobwebs hung from the ceilings like ghostly decorations. As their flashlight beams danced across the walls, they noticed old, faded portraits. But here is the creepy part. The eyes in the paintings seemed to follow their every move. Stephanie swore she saw one of them blink. Just as they were about to dismiss it as a trick of the light, they heard a soft, shuffling sound. Footsteps, coming from the floor above them. Thump, thump. Their hearts pounded in their chests. Should they run? Or should they see what was up there? Melanie, always the bravest, whispered, "We came this far, we have to see what it is." So, huddling close together, they slowly made their way up the rickety, groaning staircase. Each step echoed through the silent house. When they reached the top, the sound was louder, coming from behind a massive, old wooden cupboard in the corner of a dusty bedroom. Taking one last deep breath, they pushed the heavy cupboard aside, and what did they find? Not a ghost, not a monster, but a tiny, fluffy black kitten, shivering and scared. It must have gotten trapped and was knocking things over trying to get out. All the spooky whispers and footsteps were just this little guy. Relief washed over them, replaced by laughter. They carefully scooped up the little kitten, wrapping it in Danielle's scarf. They decided to name him Shadow. As they walked home, the fog didn't seem so spooky anymore, and the old house just looked, well, old. They realized that sometimes the things that seem the scariest are just misunderstood. All it takes is a little bit of courage to find out the truth. So what do you think of their adventure? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales. Thanks for watching.